Welcome to SVG-TV News for Monday, September 11, 2017. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. Lawyer K. Bacchus Batiste believes that the person who leaked the WhatsApp conversation between members of the Police Welfare Association should be prosecuted. On a recent edition of Magic 103.7 Sunday Brunch program, in which issues of concern within the RSVG police force were discussed, Bacchus Batiste said since the police force is a security-oriented organization, leaks of information should not be taken lightly and called on the relevant authorities to bring the leaker to justice.
Which I dare say, even the commissioner himself, I'm told they have their own WhatsApp chat.
Yes, they have a chat group.
They have it. Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with doing that. And having a meeting by WhatsApp, and this comes into the modern question of the program, is completely in order. It's as if the men were sitting in a round table in a room having a meeting. Right? No way that can be said to be social media. And they have a discussion. I think we still have freedom of expression. You can discuss different steps that you want to take. You have another person who deliberately leaks this information.
Mischievous.
Right? Takes it to the radio station. Who brought the police force into disrepute? Why no one thought that this person should be charged? Since when leaking information is something good that you protect?
Within the police force.
That's my point. So
okay.
I am
within the police
concerned
force,
that
a security organization.
Politics.
Yes.
If the commissioner of police, and I say it and I hope he's listening, is really concerned with the reputation of the force, bring that man to justice.
Yeah.
Another panelist on the program, President of the Public Service Union, Errol Boucher, who agreed with Bacchus Batiste, added that in his opinion, the police high command through their action merely used the opportunity to silence outspoken members of the police force.
And instead of dealing with the person who have brought the organization to disrepute, i.e. the person who put the thing in the media, they are now dealing with the foundation and the guys who have been attempting to address the issues. And I will hasten to add that given the haste at which they have been moved towards Smith and the others, then they have been waiting for an opportunity to address these guys. I mean, Smith is an outspoken chap, and I think they have been annoyed over maybe his public comments before, and this is an opportunity to silence him. Now, this also speaks to the level of fear in the whole Vincentian society. Now, if we can do police officers who are supposed to be addressing the issue of security, national security, and so on, what will it do to the ordinary man?
The use of marijuana for medicinal or medical purposes will be the best way forward at this time for St. Vincent and the Grenadines as it relates to the ongoing discussion on its legalization. According to Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, who was speaking on Boom FM recently, the matter of legalizing marijuana is not at the forefront, but more so is the matter of having it for medical purposes. PM Gonsalves said that this has been the movement in other countries, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines will also take this route.
I think the country would be satisfied with medical marijuana. And I think that there would be pretty much a unanimous view on that, because it's like you're using it for like any other herb to extract from it the medicinal product. Because when you're dealing with the medical marijuana industry, you're not exporting the raw ganja, you know.
Yes, I know.
It's what you extract from it.
Yes.
And therefore there has to be an industry here. And it's perfectly legal, for instance, to export that to, say, the United Kingdom, and of course the European countries.
The Prime Minister and Minister of Legal Affairs said that persons are not usually arrested for having a small quantity, as this has been stipulated on the law books. He, however, noted that those who have a small quantity of marijuana, particularly for religious use, should not be disrespectful to the police officers who are here to protect and serve.
People do not get arrested anymore for a small quantity of ganja. It is still The possession is still illegal on the books, but they don't get arrested for that. Clearly, if you're in contumelious disregard of the law, and you have a spliff and you're walking in front of the sentry at barracks and you blow smoke in the policeman's face there and tell him fire for Babylon, well then, if you're in such contumelious disregard of the law, they will pull you in. But I don't. At least that's as far as I'm aware, that an administrative decision has been taken that you don't apply the police resources to things like that.
The Prime Minister also noted that through research, this country, although is slowly leaning towards medical marijuana, is still very conservative.
I caused a poll to be done in 2030, and I tested this question. The country is divided straight down the middle, 43-44%, and precisely this question you're talking about recreational and religious use for decriminalization for marijuana. Now, 50-something% of the people, about 9 percentage points shift towards further liberalization, has taken place between 2013 and what we just did a poll in June 2017, July 2017. So that you have to take account of opinion.
Domestic violence against women, men and children is not okay, and as a society we must all do our part to decrease and more so eradicate this scourge from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That's the message coming out of NBC Radio's Views and Issues program on Sunday, September 10th, as panelists shared their views on the ongoing issue of violence against women in the country. In her remarks, Director of Gender Affairs in the Ministry of National Mobilization, Polly Oliver, spoke on the need to challenge the growing issue of violence against women, which she outlined as being one of the most significant barriers to development.
It is rooted in the inequality between men and women, and that girls and women face throughout their life. But many people believe that family and friends and other important people in their lives think that violence towards women and girls is a normal behavior, so they don't challenge it. Violence locks women and girls into poverty. It keeps them there in poverty. It limits women's choices in terms of their ability to access education, earn a living and participate in political and public life. But at the same time now, poverty exposes them to further violence. You understand? And a lack of options when this violence occurs.
Oliver went on to note that the mission to find a solution towards the prevention of domestic violence and violence against women must start at the bottom.
Talk about violence, they don't hear the prevention. So what we really want to get at is to talk about the prevention, how we could really prevent it in terms of boys seeing their parents practicing or beating their mothers, boyfriends and so forth. And I said earlier right up front that some of these things we have to unlearn them, and it would have to go back to the school, way back to socialization, how we really socialize our boys and how we socialize our girls. And we know that the whole issue of socialization takes place in the home, the community, in the schools, and so we can't start at the top. We have to start at the bottom, where we have to go into the schools to find the children.
Another panelist on the program was President of the National Council of Women, Beverly Richards, who expressed the view that domestic violence begins with the youth.
I've seen abuse taking place in their homes. Maybe there might be a child who would have witnessed the death of his parent, one of his parents, and then we would the council agency would have gone in and counsel with that child maybe for a 3 months period, if that long. But what becomes of that child after that? When a child would have saw abuse as they're growing up, when they get to age 15, between 15 and 18, that is when a child is now launching out and is forming a relationship with their peers. Now then that child start behaving a different way. There's hide the abuse in the closet. Like a formal relationship now, maybe 23 into 25 when they're into formal relationship. Then you'll have that ghost that is in the closet begin to come out. And that is why in marriages, it's only at marriages or in the older relationship we realize that the abuse is now showing up its ugly head. But it would have started in the child.
A mother of Rillan Hill is making a heartfelt appeal to the public to assist her in locating her 13-year-old daughter, Melissa Warren. This appeal comes from Rosita John, who told SVG-TV News earlier today that her daughter has been missing since the end of Carnival in July when she went to visit a friend in Fairhall. John explained that she is frustrated as she had made numerous visits to the police and other authorities to help locate her daughter without much luck.
I went to the police several times. They just write down what I told them. And they told me, Mom, I will get back to you. I didn't never nothing. Such a sleepless night. I cannot sleep so properly. I can't take it no more, so that's the reason why. I went back last week to the police and they told me they will go to girls' high school and talk to principal. And they will get back to me. Today's 8 days now. I went back to them today morning. They sent me out Qualaqual. Oh God, I went out Qualaqual now, sending me back down to them again. Oh God, I'm so tired. I'm just tired. I hope now I cannot.
John appeals to the public to assist her in bringing home her daughter safely.
Anybody out there who knows and who ever seen my daughter, Melissa Warren, I told her, everybody tell her, oh God, my mother need her, her family members need her, everybody crying. We don't know exactly where she is, but anybody who have any information could tell us, please. I need my daughter to come back home. I just need her.
Seeking to mold the minds of young aspiring inventors and innovators, the 5th Annual National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, the NTRC I-Square competition was officially launched last Friday at the Villa campus of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College. Slated to run from September 8 to November 15, 2017, the competition, which previously obtained submissions from students at the secondary and tertiary levels, will this year facilitate ideas from the general public. Nikita Tony tells us more in this report.
Since it was first held in 2013, National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission NTRC's Idea and Innovation Challenge, or as it is commonly called the I-Squared competition, has aimed to develop the entrepreneurial skills of Vincentian youth by looking at the needs of the society and finding an ICT solution for those needs. Last Friday, September 8, the NTRC officially launched the 5th edition of the competition at the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College, SVGCC, Villa campus. Noting that for its first 3 years, the competition sought mainly to derive ideas and mobile applications for the public sector, USF Administrator at the NTRC, Kyron Duncan, noted that last year's competition saw an expansion of its reach in catering for ideas which can aid the private sector, a feature which will continue this year.
This year's competition will also be focused on the development of mobile apps and ideas that can facilitate the implementation of new systems or improve existing systems within both the private and public sectors here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The aim of this focus is to improve the efficiency of the services and increase their profits, which will subsequently lead to national development.
Duncan added that the 5th edition of the challenge has been restructured to now obtain entries from the general public.
This restructuring came about once again following feedback from the general public and from persons who are not students who wanted to take part in the competition previously. The categories of the competition will consist of the secondary and the open category. The secondary category will consist of entries for both idea and mobile applications from students attending secondary schools, whereas the open category will consist of entries for mobile apps only.
Marketing and Corporate Communications Manager at Flow, Nicola Williams, advised the 2017 participants to keep it simple as they begin their journey in creating an innovative mobile application.
Before submitting your app, try it out on someone like me to ensure that your app is easy to use and effective as possible. Do not forget the importance of convenience. If it does not serve a purpose, fill a need, or even satisfy a want, most persons won't be interested in using it.
Commending the NTRC on their continued efforts to mold young Vincentian innovators, featured speaker Maurice John pointed out that competitions such as the Idea and Innovation Challenge enables the young generation to strive more for what they want in life and to be more self-sufficient. John, who is also the founder of a mobile application called Carib Dreams, urged the youth to be more assertive in creation.
We have to be the ones that say, I want to capitalize on these technologies and ensure that I go out and produce. So when it comes to mobile application, when it comes to farming, when it comes to all of these things, we have to think in everything that we do, how can we produce and not consume.
Registration forms for the I-Squared competition are available at the NTRC's office in Kingstown and on the Commission's website at www.ntrc.vc. Nikita Tony reporting for SVG-TV News.
The government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines has sent hurricane relief supplies items to the island of St. Martin, which was battered by Hurricane Irma on September 6th. Irma hit the French-Dutch island as a Category 5 hurricane, devastating most of the country and also causing extensive damage to the famous Princess Juliana Airport. According to a news release from the Agency for Public Information, two major supermarkets, Massey and CK Cribs, assisted the government with the supplies, which include a bottle of water and canned goods. On Sunday, 4 Win Air, Windward Islands Airways International aircraft, a government-owned airline base in St. Martin, left the Argyle International Airport with the supplies. Chief Pilot Michael Owie said he appreciated the gesture from the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, led by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. He said the country was hit hard and appreciated any assistance given, no matter how small. Hurricane Irma passed through the northern Leeward Islands, the U.S. British Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and the Bahamas, leaving more than 30 dead, thousands homeless. A week of activities are currently underway here to give recognition to the work and accomplishments of the Division of Adult and Continuing Education, along with that of its participants. Dubbed ACE Week, the series of activities kicked off earlier today with a church service at the Kingstown Methodist Church, which saw ACE and Ministry of Education officials as well as other well-wishers gathering to mark the beginning of the annual event. We hear more in this report.
Focused on being the nation's leading provider of life-changing education and training to its participants, the Division of Adult and Continuing Education ACE within the Ministry of Education will for this week host a series of activities aimed at highlighting the work being undertaken by the division. Held under the theme Your Destiny, Our Strategy, Let's Strive to Improve Your Reality, the series of activities for the Adult and Continuing Education Week got underway earlier today, Monday, September 11th, with a church service held at the Kingstown Methodist Church. In his welcoming remarks, Acting Director of ACE, John Zan George, reiterated the division's commitment in molding the minds of all participants so that they can become productive, innovative citizens.
Start up another Adult and Continuing Education Week, and we're here asking for God's guidance and blessing on us. We pride ourselves on being here for persons who otherwise would have not have had a chance, a first chance, second chance at formal education. Continue to help us, continue to participate with us, and yet again welcome everyone with us, from the ministry, from private sector, all those we've had dealings with in the past.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Maureen Williams, commended the division on its continued efforts to provide an opportunity for persons to obtain a formal education or even gain much-needed training.
You have somewhere you want to reach, and we believe in adulthood. We have some strategies that can enable you to reach where you want to reach. And if we put those two together, your dream can become a reality. I want to encourage you to continue to do your part. I want to encourage those who have been partnering with ACE to continue to do so. We recognize that we cannot do it without you.
Delivering the sermon, Reverend Adolph Davis spoke on how one goes about assessing the effectiveness of the educational process here in SVG.
It's a phenomenon all over, trying to ensure that people are more educated. But I believe we have to assess this phenomenon and the extent to which our decision-making competencies have actually improved. The more information you have and the more you're able to do research is the more likely you are to make better judgments.
Today's church service will be followed by a whistle stop from Kingston to Sandy Bay tomorrow, Tuesday, September 12th, with another whistle stop from Kingston to Spring Village slated for Wednesday, September 13th. The week of activities will culminate on Friday, September 15th, with a social and community activity in the Zone 7 area of ACE. Nikita Tony reporting for SVG-TV News.
The South Windward Farmers in Action Producers Cooperative Limited, SOWAPCO, will host their official launch and office opening ceremony tomorrow, Tuesday, September 12, 2017, at the Stubbs Community Center. The South Windward Farmers in Action Producers Cooperative is one of 8 agricultural cooperatives to receive support under the Strengthening Farmers Organizations and Improve Fruit and Vegetable Production Technology project. This project is implemented jointly by the Ministry of Agriculture, Rural Transformation, Forestry and Fisheries and the Taiwan Technical Mission and funded by the Republic of China on Taiwan. Tomorrow's ceremony begins at 1 p.m. and will hear brief addresses by Chief of the Taiwan Technical Mission, Jerry Lau, Area Representative and Minister of National Mobilization, Frederick Stevenson, and Minister of Agriculture, Rural Transformation, Forestry and Fisheries, Soboto Caesar.